The wonderful thing about being in a bookshop is that you can be anywhere in the world and you will find a little corner for yourself. Because bookshops are the same the world over, actually. Whatever the books that are in there, there is the sense that you walk in off the street, you're a stranger in a strange place, strange time of night, don't know anyone, but the books are your friends. So I always, when I'm travelling, find a bookshop. It's almost the first thing I do, just to root myself. Often writers are asked if they have a favourite bookshop, and of course that is a question you can never answer, for all the obvious reasons. But I suppose that many of the things that have been really important to me have happened here in the Waterstones flagship store in Piccadilly. I don't live in London, but often, when it's raining, or actually if I'm feeling not that brilliant, or I just want to think or write a bit of a speech, or just jot down an idea for the new novel, I will often come here and just sit quietly and feel that I'm surrounded by all these incredible writers who have told stories, in some cases for thousands of years. I mean, they're new editions, of course. And then, of course, that gives you that extra thrill when you do that terrible, terrible thing and you go, oh, they do have some of my books, what a relief. My earliest memories of bookshops, I grew up in a town in Sussex, Chichester, which is where I now live. And in those days there was a W.H. Smith's. And so I do have the memory of that old style. You go in and the newspapers are on the left-hand side and the books on the right-hand side. But we were really lucky to have second-hand bookshops. And that, for me, set up a love of picking up an old book. And it's not just the words inside it, or the author or the story, and whether that speaks to you and you love it or whatever. It's the idea of all those hands that have held that book before you. And that sense of being connected with a story of readers that goes back generation after generation. So that really, I think in Chichester, there were these tiny bookshops and you'd go in, you'd open the door and there was that mixture of smell of dust in the sunlight and sort of old leather and kind of wax. And I love that, and I always find second-hand bookshops. And I think the thing for me about bookshops is that we're in the most beautiful Waterstones, the biggest Waterstones in the country. I've been told it's the biggest Waterstones in Europe. I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to stick to that story. But there's, of course, other amazing chains, not least of all Foyles, which is absolutely fantastic, Blackwell's, but independent bookshops too, all of whom have that same personal thing, like a second-hand bookshop does. So for me, as you can see, I'm just a junkie, and it is my place. Wherever I am in the world, a bookshop feels like my place.